Hey guys, this is JT Works on Cars. Today I'm going to talk about the 3 mods you should do on your Acura TSX Gen 2, known as the CO2 or model years 2009 to 2014. Right, so let's start off with it. You might be asking, what is this aluminum foil right here on the strut towers? And what is that foam on the very back of the firewall? Basically, that is sound deadening. Sound deadening material like this is an 80 mil butyl. What it does is it reduces resonant vibrations. Look at this. You hear that tinny rattle? See how tinny that sounds and compared to the hood? That's a massive difference. I'm gonna knock. See, this sounds hollow. When you put sound deadener, every time you hit a bump on the road, it's not gonna rattle your panels as much. And furthermore, it slightly reduces road noise. And another added benefit is it improves your stock sound system. I've done it to all 4 doors, the hood, applied a tiny bit to the back of the firewall with closed cell foam. Closed cell foam is a thermal insulator and it also blocks off some mid to high range frequency noises. So after putting the CCF in, which is closed cell foam, I have some more under the hood insulation. My engine noise just, I could not hear the engine when I'm driving, and this is a manual. As you can see, there's the Acuity shifter bushings. This is the manual. So I put in a Short Ram K&N intake and wrapped it with ThermoTech. That way, when I drive, I can somewhat hear the intake, so I can shift by sound. So it does really reduce a lot of road noise, and it makes the stock sound system sound even better. Now the next mod is, let's see if you can see it from here. It's kind of hard to see from here. Let me turn on the flash. If you look right there very carefully, you can see right there. You see that braided steel line? Those are my StopTech stainless steel braided brake hoses. No matter how much I bled these brakes, these are new brakes, right? Centric rotors with Acura ASP GG rated ceramic brake pads. These pads are amazing. The rotors are amazing, but there's always a bit of dead play in the pedal, no matter how much I bled it. But once I put in the stainless steel brake lines, it got rid of all of that. So the cost for those are about $60 to $70 per axle. So it cost me about $130. Then a $12 bottle of .4 brake fluid. After that, brake pedal play went away. No more tiny bit of mushiness. And the closed cell foam, you can buy 36 square feet of Noico 80 mil butyl, I believe, for somewhere around $50 on Amazon. Then for $60 you can buy 36 square feet of, I believe it's 150 mil Noico Red closed cell foam. It's very easy to do for underneath the hood insulation. You just pop out these clips, you clean the surface with isopropyl alcohol, you wipe it off, make sure it's dry, make sure it's clean, apply the Noico, then you roll it on. Then afterwards you clean this to make sure there's no residue on it. Then you apply the closed cell foam. So I did that to the hood. I did it to some parts of the fender underneath here when I had to take off the bumper to change my HID bulbs. Then I applied some there. Yeah, then there's some on the doors. Then I applied some to the trunk lid and the spare tire wall. It reduced a lot of the road noise. It made the car almost as quiet as a 2nd gen IS350. Have you ever driven Lexus? You know they're quiet. You know they're smooth. There's not a lot of road noise and not a lot of wind noise. It's almost as quiet as a Lexus IS350 2nd gen. It doesn't compare to the 3rd gen, so don't expect too much, but it is a very noticeable improvement. Everyone has commented, wow, this car is a lot quieter than mine. My friend's 3rd gen TL is a lot louder than this in terms of road noise, tire noise, and wind noise. And the very last mod I would recommend, let me see if you can see it from there. Let's see. It's hard to see from that angle, so I'm gonna go from the back. You see that big black shiny bar? Hold up, where is it? Right there. This is a 19 millimeter ST suspension rear sway bar. The stock size is 17, and that size is a 19. And the car handle is much sharper now. There's not much body roll. I can take right turns at 20, left turns at 20. Everyone always comments, wow, your car handle's so flat. I wish my car did that. There also is a Progress rear sway bar that is 22 millimeters thick, but that requires drilling out part of your subframe. Then on previous generation TSXs and TLs, people have cracked the mounting for the sway bar bushings because of that. So I didn't want to risk cracking my subframe, because a subframe is like, I think on OEM Acura parts, they quote like $2,000 to $3,000 for just to do subframe. That's not even labor. That's just the parts. And you go to a dealer yourself, they're gonna charge even more for the parts. So in all, sound deadening, you can get it done for about 120 to 150. The stainless steel braided brake lines, you can get it done for about 140 to 150. Then the rear sway bar, it cost me about $170. So all in all, these three mods, let's just call them each $170. Yeah, sorry, the video cut off. So all in all, for about $500, you can do three very meaningful mods. A lot of them improve just your day-to-day driving. Like, you're not gonna be like, wow, I can't daily drive this anymore. The car just feels too stiff, it's too rough, it's too aggressive. Sound deadening makes your car feel more luxurious. You know, you're not gonna be as fatigued while driving, because when you ever drive a car with bad weather seals, you know, that wind noise on the highway just irritates the hell out of you, right? You gotta shout every time you want to talk to your passengers. Stainless steel braided brake lines, you know, it's gonna make stop and go traffic a lot more encouraging, you know what I mean? Like, when you drive with a mushy brake pedal and stop and go traffic, it gives you anxiety. You're like, man, I gotta really be on top of my game, because I might rear-end the car. Then the rear sway bar, you know, the only time you notice it is when you're cornering. When you're just driving normally, it's not gonna make your car ride stiffer, it's not gonna make your car ride aggressive. Like, all these mods, you're gonna have no regrets with it. Like, I had my friend, he has a 3rd gen 07 TL Type S. He drove this car, he's like, wow, I love how it shifts, I love how the intake sounds, I love how nice the suspension feels, even though it handles better than my car. So I did very tasteful mods. So in the future, I am gonna record a video talking about my suspension mods, my transmission mods, because if you notice, it is a manual, and that's a clutch slave cylinder. I did do a delay valve delete in that. I had to do a new master because I had an internal leak. And as you can see, these are adjustable, rebound adjustable Coney yellow shocks. I do have spherical lower control arm bushings. I do have a rear camber kit to fix my alignment. I am running on stock springs. You know, I have a lot to talk about in terms of suspension. Do I regret doing this intake? Do I regret putting Morimoto 2-stroke 3.0 LED $200 fog lights? Do I regret putting hybrid racing D10 springs in the transmission? Do I like the Acuity shifter bushings? Do I like the Acuity base shifter bushings? Do I regret putting a CT engineering short shifter in? Do I regret Acuity's 2.5 selector springs? You know what I mean? Like, I've done a lot of tasteful mods to this car. I am also waiting for, from Heel Toe Auto, my Braided Supreme SP Cat Pack exhaust. It costs $1,100. I know. What the hell, bro? You could straight pipe it for $200 and save a lot of money. But I wanted tasteful mods. I didn't want anything I would regret. And I plan on driving this for another 100,000 miles. It's currently at 236,700 miles. I will drive this until 220K. By that point, this car is most likely going to be 20 years old. I'm a college student. I'm going to be well into a career. I can easily afford a different car. But I do drive this every day, so I want to put very tasteful mods on it. Nothing that I can regret. This car, if I wanted to drive from Dallas Fort Worth to Florida, like Fort Myers, Naples, or anything like that, I'll do it in a heartbeat. I will not hesitate on taking this car on a road trip. So that's the philosophy behind my mods. Tasteful. Is there a benefit over stock? As you can see, I do have NK RPF ones. Same size as stock, 17 by 7.5, but with a slightly more aggressive offset. Instead of 55, it's 48. So the wheel pokes out a little more. I have Michelin Pilot Sport AS3 Pluses, which are really good all seasons. When Dallas, Fort Worth, well, pretty much all of North Texas had that really aggressive snowstorm last February, I believe. These tires did perfect. I was not slipping all over the road. This front wheel drive with an open differential, and I never got stuck, and it's a manual. So yeah. So all the mods on here I love. So in the future, I will make a more in-depth video about every mod I've done and whether or not I regret it. So I'm gonna separate it by engine mods transmission mods, suspension mods. I think that's a really good 3 categories, and 4 miscellaneous. So in the future, I will be making that video within the next 1 or 2 weeks. So I hope you guys are on the lookout for that. Thank you very much for watching my channel and supporting me. I hope y'all have a nice day. I know I rambled a lot, but thank you for supporting me.